In this tutorial, I'll be discussing part of the new assignment, which is part B2, iteration 2 of the wordmark brief. Here I want to show you how the various kerning exercise iterations are carried out. So first of all, I'm going to take my A3 sheet and I'm going to expand the size of that, and I'm going to go edit artboard, and I'm going to actually zoom out. You can see here that I've already started to work outside of my artboard, and I'm just going to expand this out. Of course, I'm doing this to show you that it's okay that the document layout is no longer going to be A3. You need to accommodate the work that you're going to be doing in this, and so it's important that you just go ahead and make the artboard whatever size you need to. We'll still print A3. Of course, that means the type will be smaller on the page, but that's not an issue. I'm going to go ahead and hide the font shop screenshot, and I will show you how to do the first kerning iteration, which is the stroke overlap. I'm going to go ahead and copy my 5 letter forms, and the way that I do that, I can go Command C, which is a shortcut on my laptop. I can also go copy, which I've done there, and then I'll just go edit, paste, which just comes in. Another way of doing this is selecting all this, hold down the Shift Option key. Excuse me, here it's the Shift Control. Let's see, let me just see which one it is. Shift. Hold on, right quick. It is Shift Option, which keeps it fixed in the vertical or horizontal, and then it copies that. So hold down the Shift Option, click and drag, and you can copy that exactly. So to do the stroke overlap, basically what I'm recommending is that you literally take the furthest part of the stroke of the letter and overlap that with the furthest stroke of the letter to the left, and overlap that to the furthest stroke to the right of the letter next to it. So for example, I'm going to take this A, and then I'm going to zoom in and place this here. So it's a little tricky here because of course the S, the curve here on this S comes out beyond that. If I bring it in here, sorry, I'm copying this, so I don't need to copy this. I'll just hold down the Shift key. Holding down the Shift key will keep it from going up and down. It'll keep it on a horizontal and vertical axis. So of course, if I come here, you'll see that I've got a little bit of that sticking out here. So it's just a decision that you're just gauging with your eye what you think looks most interesting. So I'm going to do this. I'll leave this little bit hanging off the edge, and then I'll zoom out, and I will then hold down the Shift key, and I will then overlap. I'll just zoom in on this. I'll overlap my P to this part of the S. Oop, moved, and I'll use my arrow to get the incremental move. You can see here that it comes. You can see a bit of the A out here. That's just part of the nature of the character of the letter form itself. Again, I'm holding down the Shift key, bringing the bottom of that S to just to here of the inside the O, and then I will hold down the Shift key and bring my N over. I'm going to zoom in again, and then I will bring this to about there. Again, looking at this point here to kind of get it, still keeping the curvature of that inside of that A. And so basically it's just simply that. That's the stroke overlap. So I'm going to go Command Z and show you how to then do the next one, which is the edge touch. Now with the edge touch, again, this is very subjective. I'll take my A, hold down the Shift key, and I'm looking at this bottom part of the curve here of the A, and I'm just wanting to barely, and again I'll zoom in here, I just want to barely touch the bottom there of my J. I don't want any white space, so there's still a little bit of white space. I'll use my arrow on my keyboard. I can change my increments again. So again, I'm just looking at barely touching that in a way. Barely touching it exactly, excuse me. Then I'll take my P, and I'm actually want to have it touch on the vertical here. My A is not properly drawn here, so I'm going to be looking at overlapping about here. But again, the A should be absolutely vertical with the P, and I get no gap in between. I'll bring my A again, and I'll look at overlapping at this point of the A, and I'll just move my cursor the other way to kind of see how close. So basically what we're looking at creating is a continuous black form, and seeing the readability of the letters when the kerning, the spacing between the letters is of this nature. Again, because my A is not vertical there on the side, the stroke is not vertical. Again, I want to have no white space. What I may also want to do is play with, I may also want to bring the A's actually and touch them here at the top part of that stroke. So as you can see here, I'll go ahead and grab, I can save my work here, I can go ahead and grab all 4 letters because I like the spacing as it stands with some of these. So I'm just going to bring the top of the A to the edge of the J. Just a little bit more. Again, I want to feel sort of a continuous black form. There we go. Yep. And so I'm working on this gap here, so I'm going to select the A and the N together and be able then to just have that touch there. Okay, so just use my arrow keys on my laptop, and this, you may even want to just bring it just a little bit more. Again, this is just purely subjective, but again, I'm looking at a continuous black form, so to speak, a continuous connection of stroke in those letter forms. Okay, so that deals with the first 2 iterations, the stroke overlap and the edge touch. That concludes this part of the tutorial. There'll be another part of the tutorial shortly. Thank you.